When God interrupts, do you listen? Welcome to the Daily Devo. I, of course, am Vince Miller. Now, in yesterday's devotional, we saw that Abigail's interceded for Nabal's stupidity. So let's see if her charming little approach works on David. This is verses 32 down through 35. And David said, Abigail, blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, whom you sent this day to meet me. Blessed be your discretion, and blessed be you who have kept me this day from blood guilt and from working salvation with my own hand. There's that word hand again. For as surely as the Lord, the God of Israel lives, who has restrained me from hurting you. Hear how he understands the situation. Restrain me from hurting you, unless you had hurried and come to meet me. Truly by the morning there had not been left to Nabal so much as one male. Then David received from her what she had brought him, and he said to her, go up in peace to your house. See, I have obeyed your voice, and I have granted your petition. Have you ever felt the weight of a confrontation and then felt tempted to take matters into your own hands? Of course you have. We all have, including me. Heated moments, you know what they do? They cloud our judgment and make it hard to see what God wants to do because we're too focused on what we want to do. That's exactly David in this text. He's hot. He's very hot. He's about to make a grave mistake, literally a grave mistake. He's about to slaughter all the men of Nabal's house at the biggest celebration of the year. But Abigail intervenes. And instead of just ignoring her intervention, David interprets it as God's intervention. Did you see that? He sees this as God intervening. And if you've been reading the story of David with me for a while, right now we see this about face in his attitude and actions. He goes from proclaiming in previous verses, just verses before, acts of vulgarity to proclaiming a threefold blessing. A blessing to the Lord, a blessing for her discretion, and a blessing on her. That is a remarkable about face for David. And, you know, you need this type of intervention in your life sometimes, especially when you're hot. In fact, we all do. I do too. But when the intervention shows up, well, you've got to see it, receive it, and change. You've got to see it, then you got to receive it, and then you have to change. And since a lot of you have been following me for a while, all the way through 1 Samuel, this again is one of those instances in which we see God's wisdom in choosing David as the next king. David was willing to see God's intervention and adjust his intention. He was willing to see God's intervention in this moment and adjust his intention. He is a man after God's own heart. That's why he's selected. So today, as you face the challenges that you're going to face, you need to be open to God's voice through the people that he places in your path. He's going to put people in your path, and you need to pay attention to those people. So when your temper begins to flare and stress begins to mount, don't hesitate to pray for God's intervention. Then when God intervenes, be willing to accept the intervention that interrupts your intentions. Don't plow over people and miss a prophetic voice from God. If you ignore these prophetic whispers, you might miss God's redirect and do something you regret. I love you guys. I hope this has really blessed you today. Do something about it. Use it. Share it with a friend, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.